Dear students, welcome to the next lecture of electrical measurement. So, in the previous lecture, we started talking about the electrodynamometer type instruments, and we discussed the use of electrodynamometer type instruments as a meter or voltmeter. Okay, but one of the important applications of these type of instruments is their use as a wattmeter. Okay, so in this class we will discuss about the electrodynamometer type wattmeters. So electrodynamometer wattmeter we will discuss in this lecture. Okay, so these instruments, that is these type of wattmeters, they are similar in design and construction as compared to the electrodynamometer type ammeters and voltmeters. So general construction we have already discussed in the previous lecture. Okay, the two coils, they are connected in different circuits for the measurement of power. There are fixed coils and there are moving coil. Okay, so the fixed coils, or they are also called field coils, they are connected in series with the load, and so they carry the current in the circuit. Okay, so these fixed coils, which are also the field coils, so in case of wattmeter they are also known as current coil. Okay, and similarly the moving coil is also known as the pressure coil or voltage coil. So this I am talking only about the wattmeters. Okay, so the moving coil is actually connected in parallel with the load. Okay, that is it actually carries a current which is being proportional to the voltage. Okay, a high non-inductive resistance is also connected in series with this moving coil, just to limit the current to a small value. Okay, so now if I just draw the circuit of the wattmeter, so the circuit will something look like this. Okay, so these are the different parts of a electrodynamometer type wattmeter. Okay, so this is the current coil and this is the pressure coil or voltage coil. This is the load and this is a high resistance which is connected in series with the pressure coil. Okay, and here these are the terminals across which we can give supply to this circuit. Okay, so this figure shows the circuit diagram for electrodynamometer wattmeter. Okay, so this is the circuit arrangement, and the general you can say theory will remain same as we had discussed for previous in the previous lecture, that is about the general operation of these type of instruments. Okay, so let us now discuss about the torque which is produced in these type of instruments. Okay, so instantaneous torque of an electrodynamometer instrument will be simply given by I1 I2 dm over d theta. This I think we had discussed in last lecture also. These two I1 and I2 are simply the instantaneous values of the currents in two different coils, like that is the fixed coil and the moving coil. This M is the mutual inductance, theta is the deflection. Okay, now let's suppose that this V and I represents the RMS values of voltage and currents to be measured. So, RMS value of voltage to be measured, and this I represents the RMS value of current to be measured. Okay. So, the instantaneous value of voltage across the pressure coil circuit will be, if we represent this by this small v, so this is the instantaneous value of the voltage across the pressure coil circuit. So, this will be root 2 v sin omega t, and we have just now discussed that the pressure coil circuit has a very high resistance connected in series. So, in that case we can just treat the pressure coil circuit to be a purely resistive coil. Okay. So, therefore, the current IP, that is the current in the pressure coil, it should be in phase with the voltage. Okay. And the instantaneous value should be just V divided by the resistance of this pressure coil. Okay. So, this will be root 2 V over Rp sin omega t, or it can be written as root 2 Ip sin omega t, where this Ip is simply the ratio of V by R. Okay. So, this Ip actually represents the RMS value of current in pressure coil circuit. So, this is actually the RMS value of current in pressure coil circuit. Okay. And this Rp is also the resistance of this pressure coil circuit. Okay. So, if the current in the current coil lags the voltage in phase by an angle phi, so the instantaneous value of current through the current coil can be written as, so if we represent the current in the current coil by this IC, okay, so it should be root 2 times I sin omega t minus phi. We can also represent these variables in the circuit which we have drawn here. Okay. So, this will be the current which is to be measured. Okay. And this will be the current in this current coil, whereas this will be the current in the pressure coil. Okay. This is the resistance R, this I have already written here. Okay. So, now coming back to our expressions. So, now the instantaneous values of current through the current coil and pressure coil have been written here. So, let us now write the expression for the instantaneous torque. So, instantaneous torque will be it should be the product of the two currents, that is root 2 Ip sin omega t, okay, multiplied by root 2 I sin omega t minus phi, and there will be one more factor dm over d theta it will be. Okay, that is the deflection. Okay. So, now you just simplify this expression whatever I have written here. So, it should be the product of two currents cos phi minus cos 2 omega t minus phi dm over d theta. Okay. So, if you see this equation, let us just call this as T with a subscript I, that is the instantaneous torque. So if you see this expression, so you can see that there is a component of power which actually varies as twice the frequency of the current and voltage, that is there is a term of this 2 omega t. Okay. So at the moment let us just proceed to calculate the average deflecting torque. So average deflecting torque, that is TD, can be calculated as integral 1 over t integral from 0 to t, okay, Ti d of omega t, that is in place of this Ti you just put the expression, okay, of this instantaneous torque. So this will be Ip multiplied by I cos phi minus cos of 2 omega t minus phi dm over d theta and d omega t. Okay. So it will come as Ip I cos phi dm over d theta, or it can also be written as Vi over Rp cos phi dm over d theta. Okay. So this is the expression of the average deflecting torque. Let us just call this as equation 1. Now the controlling torque which is exerted by the spring, so its expression can simply be written as k theta, where k is the spring constant and theta is the final steady deflection. Okay. So actually what happens that the moving system of the instrument, it just cannot follow the rapid variations in torque. Okay. So in the expression of the instantaneous torque we had seen a component having twice the frequency. So the moving system of the instrument is not capable to follow the rapid variations. Therefore what will it do? It will just take up a position at which the average deflection torque is equal to the controlling torque or restoring torque of the springs. So at balance position, or you can also call it as equilibrium position or final steady state, so k theta will be equal to Ip I cos phi dm over d theta. So deflection theta can be written as Ip I cos phi dm over d theta divided by k. So this whole thing will be divided by k. So we can write it as Vi cos phi divided by Rp k dm over d theta. Okay. Or in terms of a constant we can also write it as k1 Vi cos phi dm over d theta. Okay. Or we can more simplify this expression k1 multiplied by dm over d theta multiplied by p, where this p is nothing but the power which is being measured. It is Vi cos phi, and this k1 is 1 over rpk. So this is done just to simplify the expression. Okay, so the deflection is being proportional to the power which is being measured. Okay, and that is the function of a wattmeter, that is it indicates the power which is being measured. So here we can see that the deflection of this instrument is being proportional to the power which is being measured in this instrument. So with this much we stop for today, and in the next lecture we have to discuss some errors which are present in the electrodynamometer type wattmeters. Okay, so there are some specific errors which are which should be discussed for these wattmeters only. We have discussed the errors which are present in the general electrodynamometer instruments in the last lecture. Okay, so although those errors are also present here, but additionally for wattmeters there are some more errors which have to be discussed, and that will take up in the next lecture, like the error due to the pressure coil inductance, or the error due to the connections, the error due to the stray magnetic fields. Okay, so these have to be discussed in the next lecture. So this is all for today. Thank you very much.